Welcome back to this episode of the Nonsensical Knowledge Podcast. It's your boys, Irv and Edwin. What the fuck is good, everybody?
We're shaking episode 77. Time worked
Yep.
on you cats, so we owed you
Yep.
this episode. So here it is.
Yeah, the we had a little debacle where I wasn't really paying attention on the episode list, and for anybody that's seeing a lower number than where we should be, it's because your boy wasn't paying attention and totally skipped episode number 77. So we are now doing episode number 77. Couple quick announcements real fast. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button first and foremost. Help your boys out. We have a giveaway update. So when we reached 500 subscribers and we started to do the giveaway, we realized that a lot of subscribers have their subscriptions private. They're not public. We cannot see you if your subscription is in public. So if you guys can just make it public for us, we're gonna extend the giveaway for about, I say, probably a month, just to give everybody some time to make their subscriptions. We'll announce it a few times. We just don't want to miss anybody. We're going to be doing a drawing for $100 Amazon gift card and a nonsensical box where you get a hoodie, maybe a lighter, some stickers, shit like that. But we don't want to miss you. Make sure you make your subscriptions public. Also, we are hustling that liquid IV over in the TikTok shop. Make sure you guys hit our TikTok if you guys are interested in anything like that, and support the channel. We'll throw the Cash App up if you guys want to donate to the channel. It's the best way to support other than going to the TikTok shop. Hit us up. Let us know what's good. Irv, what is up, bro?
Everything and anything that can happen will happen, baby. It's wild times. It's I thought we might get a break, man. That shit don't look like there's no break in sight. I think it's just pound town every single day, bro. I
Yeah.
just been consuming, man. I know we've been trying to get back on the airwaves and shit, but like you said on your notepad, bro, you're mad subjects deep.
Yeah, it's just been continuous. There really hasn't been a slowdown point, and it really feels like that they're trying to bury us in information. Um, what's wild about it is that they're hold on one second. They are there's just no stop to it, man. First and foremost, let's get into the giant Epstein dud, man. Like, this is it, it almost feels like they're pushing so hard to get our eyes off the Epstein shit. Um, we haven't gotten any information. Brand new information. The alleged new information was all shit that they had already given us.
Yeah, I was watching Elon on Rogan, man, and he said something that was real shit. Like, um, Pam Bondi and all these cats are taking over a ship with hostile crew. You know what I mean? Like, you depend on your crew to get your ship to shore or whatever safely, and they have all of these internal deep state cats still at the feds defying orders. Like, some of the files are in New York, Eastern or Southern District. There's files in Florida, files in New Mexico. So they're like all over the place. And they're not talking about it, but people at these intelligence agencies are like, fuck you. You're not my boss still. So part of it is that, you know what I mean? I'm thinking more so, which I was like super upset, like, oh, you just regurgitated some bullshit. But yeah, just I think give her some time. I think definitely the public demanded it. They wanted it. So I'm hopeful that they will get that shit out.
I'm hopeful as well, and yeah, it's a great analogy because when you come into, these are hostile organizations at this point. They never felt like the Republicans would win, right? So like there was a lot of shit going on at the FBI or, you know, even the CIA. We saw it with the chat rooms that just came out, interagency sex chat rooms, like just super weird behavior going on amongst these branches of the government. So you're right. Yeah, he's right. When you come in and not everybody likes you and they never thought that they would have to cover up any of this information, it's now we're starting to hear rumors that there is subversion in the FBI and they are actively deleting files.
Yeah, whistleblower came out, so they were deleting files and hiding stuff. But if you have, I mean, these are top secret people with top secret clearances. Take the chat room for instance, like talking about gay orgies and sex changes and sex mutilation, and they're like tasked with protecting our nation from the worst of the worst. Like, and this is what they're doing on a daily basis. Like, at least 400 employees at these agencies taking part in this every single day. Like, it feels like the whole government just was chilling. Like, we don't gotta do shit, bro. You know how it is. We're business owners. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody doing shit.
It feels like job security to me. So I made an analogy today with the government waste is that like it's like city workers. Instead of paving the road one time and maintaining it, they would rather come back 13, 14 times to fix the same pothole than to actually fix the problem because they know that they have work. They know that pothole is going to need to be filled again instead of just fixing it the first time. And yeah, in the cases of the FBI, this isn't supposed to happen. Like these are supposed to be branches of the government that are that answer to the executive branch or answer to the judicial branch, and they don't. Time and time again, we find that they're actually the FBI is committing crimes. Like how ironic is it that we as Americans are going to sit back and be like, oh, okay, well, Trump got in the office, orange man bad. We gotta subvert. Now we gotta turn everything up and we can't fall in line. We're gonna disregard a direct order from the attorney general and only send 200 pages of phone contacts.
Fluff. They're like, oh, we'll send this report. But just think of the balls these people have, bro. Like, it's the Attorney General of the United States, the president, like all of these cats. It's just like the $80 million they sent to the luxury hotel in New York, defying an executive order. Like, we're not sending out any more money. Elon sees it in the books. It goes to New York to pay for illegals in a luxury hotel. They pull it back. Now New York is suing the federal government. Like, hey, give us our money back that you gave us to house these illegals right now, which is like crazy. Like, you're fucking.
Oh, it's absurd. Well, at the same time, let's be 100% honest here too. That money was sent to those hotels to house illegal migrants when North Carolina, California was on fire. What was the other big one we had there? It was North Carolina.
Hawaii.
Well, it wasn't during Hawaii, but it was actually during North Carolina. What was the other big hurricane we had? Florida. Milton. You know, so like all of this money that FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association or agency, is supposed to allocate to disaster situations was given to a New York hotel for illegal migrants. Anybody that can sit back and say that that is proper, like that is like that's where that FEMA money should be going, is fucking crazy.
Not for shit too. Shout out Lee Zeldin. He's from New York. They went out to California with the red tape off, cleared like 1,000 burned out houses out. They just rebuilt the road in North Carolina. Like, so they had these rocks in the river that they didn't want to disturb. Like the environmental people didn't want to disturb, so it would have been like, years and years to get this bridge rebuilt. And they just went in, removed the rocks, bro, got the bridge rebuilt, and it's a vital road for access down there. And that shit got rebuilt quick, bro. And that's the type of stuff like I like to see. That's not right or left, liberal or conservative shit. That's just real people shit. Making things better for everyday Americans. Don't matter what the hell you believe in politically.
Right. And that's really what it should be. And we've talked about this time and time again, about like just the radicalization of these political parties. The people are so not everybody, but there are a lot of radical motherfuckers out there that just can't see past the ideology, right? So it's like you're just so angry that it doesn't matter what the facts are. And we see that, and another super weird thing was about that Elon and Rogan episode is the Biden administration launched a massive lawsuit against SpaceX, right, for political purposes. For anybody out there, I don't know if you know this or not, but there are currently astronauts stuck on the International Space Station, right? They were only supposed to be there for like 4 weeks or something like that.
A really short period of time, yeah.
They've been there for 8 months. Elon Musk and SpaceX said, "Hey, we'll go get them. We'll go get them. We'll bring them home." But because the Biden administration was trying to win the election with Harris or the Democrats, I guess you could say, they told Elon, "Yeah, we'll do it. Sure. But we're going to push it out past the inauguration date," because they didn't want to give a MAGA ally a quote win in the public. So these cats who are sitting in space, low Earth orbit, I have been there for months and months and months on end because of political purposes. Now, that's kind of crazy because when you're in space for so long, your body experiences increased bone loss. So these people are going to come back and they're not going to be okay. And think about it like this. That was done for political purposes. So like you said with the bridge building is like we have to step away from the politics and get it done. Get the shit done. We can't sit here and be like, "Oh, okay, Gavin Newsom, he's running for re-election, but there's a Republican. They're trying to flip the state. Oh, man, we can't turn the water on." That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with our system. We got to clean that up.
Yeah, it's really bad, man. And especially when things aren't getting done because of political leverage it's disgusting. None of these things that are getting done are done out of the compassion for humankind or for citizens. They're done for political wins. They want your vote.
What do you think is the way around that shit, man? I mean, it seems to be more and more divided.
So I think a number of things have to happen. Obviously, term limits have to either be shortened, or you can't run as many times, because really that's what we need is we got to get these ticks out of Washington. What up, George? Shout out. Dino, what's good, bro? Thanks for tapping in. Shout out to everybody with us. 24 on X, 2 on YouTube, 5 on Facebook, 0 on Twitch. I can't see Rumble, Kick, or Instagram, but shout out to you guys if you tapped in with us. Make sure you leave us a comment. I think the way around that, bro, is we got to make it less incentivized to be a politician, right? Because the more you can't go into politics, bro. Look at some of these politicians. Bernie, we'll just take Bernie, for example, because he was supposed to be one of the good ones. How much money has that man made from lobbyists and big pharma and all of these other places? Like this incentivizes people to stay in that office. And let's be real here. It's job security. We ain't got to do nothing this term. We're setting up to do it next term. You know? So I think the way around it, man, is to really take the incentives out of being a politician and get it back to where, like, these are real people as politicians, as opposed to people that are bred in institutions, Harvard, Yale, these politicalized institutions, in a sense,
Yeah.
Because
I just think, like, you posted, I was on Ukraine, right? Yeah, that was on Ukraine.
What's that?
Yeah, your post, you just, was breaking down, like, Hunter Biden's laptop.
Oh yeah, yep.
All of the crazy shit, illegal shit, fraud, all of that stuff that happened. Didn't mention anything about Trump. Nobody. And you were attacked by people, like, just for stating facts. Like, people will refuse to see the facts. I have a homie. He's got a Tesla, right? People are like, "You're a fucking Nazi," like, because he drives a Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how crazy it is now. Like, out there, like, people are just bugged out, super triggered by anything. Like, you get not even mention any of that shit. Like, yeah, like the bridge in North Carolina being built. You mention that shit, people come through attacking you.
Yeah, you can't walk through certain cities, bro. Like, go and wear like a MAGA hat in San Francisco or some shit. You're gonna get fucking attacked. It's like it really is the wildest behavior. And yeah, you're right. It's like but it doesn't matter. You're triggered, and us in a separate post, about the New York CO things is like and you got to read it, but I was like, we can't lead these conversations of dialogue from rage. We can't do it from a point of anger or like it's you versus me. No, we have to have an actual dialogue, right? It's like, no matter what our opinions are, we can't just react with rage, because as we all know, we see a post, we see some dumb shit that's said, it triggers us. It's like, oh, let's get at it. You know what I mean? But that's not how dialogue happens. That's not how we come to an understanding of one another. And we really have to step back for a second, take a deep breath, and be like, hey, listen, maybe this person just needs more information. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you can give me more information, I'm happy to accept it. And I think that's part of the reason why we can't have dialogue, is because everybody's led by their fucking emotion. And when you're led by your emotion, you just don't want to set aside, like, you're unrational. You're not thinking logically. And we really set facts aside. Like, one of the things we were talking about before we started is how people set aside literal facts in the absence of just rhetoric. So, like, those radicalized people, like you said with that Ukraine post, it literally went to straight Trump, and all I said why are we funding Ukraine still? Everybody, they want to throw around the Nazi term. They want to throw around all of this shit. But there's quite literally a whole brigade of Ukrainian, like a Ukrainian brigade that's all literal neo-Nazis. $350 billion. Zelensky says he doesn't know where most of it went. Like these are real things that are happening. So what do you think is going on, or what do you think is going on in these people's minds when the facts are the facts, but it's like you just got to engage in that rhetoric, you know? What do you think is going on here?
It's big time. I think it's a lot of propaganda, man, because you tune into some of these news outlets and they're still, like CNN, for instance, they're still talking these it's alternate reality, really, bro. They're still pushing it all. They're pushing that Nazi stuff. They're still pushing Ukraine's our ally. Zelensky's a hero. We have to support our allies. Like, we need to be a part of NATO. Like, if that's all you're watching, you're toast. Like, toast. That's what you got. That's your worldview. That's your reality. You really gotta shop. You gotta be out there searching for your own information. And I've been thinking today, like, I mean, obviously we do this podcast, so we're in tune with a lot of current events, things that are happening, like educated on a lot of these stories that are out there. But you got to kind of give people grace too. Not a lot of people tune into shit like this. It's too much. They just want to live their life and whatever is whatever. You know what I mean? But if that's fine, but then you can't be spewing the hatred and the nonsense based off of non-facts, because that's not fair.
Well, it's not fair, and you also aid in what's called the disinformation campaign, and that's one thing that's always struck me too. Is like you said, it's totally cool to be unplugged. Just don't come in acting like you are plugged in, and and really, we have to take a look at historical facts. We have to look at stuff, and especially in terms of like something like Ukraine. You're talking years all the way back to the Soviet Union. There's history behind Ukraine and Russia. There's history behind their annexation. There's history behind the coup d'etat that actually happened in 2014. So it's when we sit here and we say, oh, well, no, we should just blindly support. Like after that White House meeting, man, like, look, in my own opinion, I feel like it definitely could have been handled differently. But at the same time, no, look, we're not just some fucking credit card you keep swiping. We're not just some like security guarantee. Like, man, you're going to stand on your own too. And really when it comes down to it, like we have to understand, and this is why I thought it was very important with the UN resolution. For anybody that didn't see the UN resolution that went through the UN Security Council, basically Europe had put forward a draft proposal to bring peace and a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. The UN says absolutely not, right? But adopts a US backed one. Like the US came with their own proposal and whatever. Let's see here. Waka Flocka Fool. Shout out. I'm deep into some lucid psychosis. Let's hear some theories. World War III is spooky as fuck. You are right. But we really have to look at the historical facts, right? So like there was a draft agreement years ago. I think it might have been the Clinton administration, to where they said, yo, look, we're not going to put NATO and the UN on the borders of Russia. Russia needed that security to feel like they were being taken seriously. And the US kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And then we get this full scale aggression. This isn't full scale. If it was full scale, Ukraine wouldn't even exist right now. But again, nobody wants to talk about the ways that we instigate in the world, the ways that we'll go through in proxy wars, or we'll get this. We're gonna go and do a coup in Ukraine. You know what I mean? That this shit is wild.
Yeah, it was a lot, man. I mean, Ukraine had nukes too. We took away. It's yeah, this shit's been going on for decades and decades and decades, bro. This isn't just like a Trump issue. I mean, it's been going on forever. But Biden and his gang and Obama's gang straight up wanted World War III. There's no denying that. Every dad would wake up like, you guys do realize this is total annihilation, right? This isn't like, and what gets me is that they're not tough guys, bro. They're herbs. They're herbs. Like talking tough. They're not going to be on the front lines. Their kid's not going to be on the front lines. Like their family's not going to be on the front lines.
Nah, they get to go to the bunker, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, then like today, like after the spat, like people are like, oh, such an embarrassment. Oh, he embarrassed the White House, like acting the way he did. This is one of our great allies. He's a war hero. Like he's fighting the great Satan in Russia. Like what the fuck? The dude's a cokehead. Like what do you mean? There's a cokehead.
You're talking about Zelensky, right?
Yeah, Zelensky.
We've been over this before on the podcast, but just for anybody that's new with us, shout out to you guys. But Zelensky was a literal actor. Like he was a soap opera dude. Homeboy played the piano with his fucking dick. Like there was, it was a bit, you know what I mean? It was a gag, but at the same time, like this dude was installed as president in a coup by the U.S. And really, it's just like, how does it not get any more theater to you? The guy is a puppet. He's a puppet. And then like the White House shit, you do not come in front of the American media and start doing that shit. Not with Trump.
Nah, and then say like, oh, you guys are gonna feel it too. Like, yeah, you're gonna watch. Like, that's some threat shit. Like, fuck you mean we gonna feel it? Nah, bro, we ain't feeling shit. You know, like,
well, again,
the code, man.
Again, because they want to sow this fucking seed of fear. That was like a fearful statement from Zelensky. Oh, you guys have the ocean, but you're gonna feel it eventually. And it's like, and what he's talking about he's talking about like Russian and Chinese aggression and pressure in a sense, And what Trump's saying is like, don't tell us what we're gonna feel. We are actually, Russia didn't turn down a deal. You're turning down a deal right now. So it's like, these are like the narratives, bro, have always bothered the shit out of me because everyone out there that's still supporting Ukraine and Russia and Putin's the boogeyman, you have gotten your information from U.S. propaganda for your entire life, your entire existence. Have you been to Russia? Have you seen how Russians react with homeboy? Have you been over there to understand the culture? No, you probably haven't. All you're going to do is sit over here and say, oh, this dude's the worst.
Yeah. I'm not down for any wars, you know what I mean? Like, I think the wars are bullshit and that mankind need to transcend beyond that shit. But the parading and hero and all that stuff, like, nah, bro. Like, he banned Orthodox Christians in this country. Like, nah, y'all can't have service. Right now, they're kidnapping. Huh?
Who did that?
Zelensky. persecuting Orthodox Christians in
So
Ukraine.
what are they? Are they just Christian, or are they
Yeah, they're just Christian.
so they're persecuting other Christians?
Yeah, they're there's
I'm just trying to
videos
understand.
they drive around. You're a dude, you're like 19 years old, walking with your mom. They grab you, throw you in a van, and bring you to the front lines. Now you got to fight. Like that's the shit they're doing. Like he suspended the elections in Ukraine. Like they were supposed to happen 2 years ago. Nah, we're not having elections anymore. Like so, like I mean, there's a lot of shit, bro, with it. You know what I mean? But it's really far away, bro. We got our own shit to deal with here, man. Like I'm down for us and what we got to do here. As I know a
Well,
lot of people that are hurting.
there's no way that we should have the problems that we have in our country and be funding wars thousands, tens of thousands of miles away. Um, there's no way we should be paying for sex changes in Guatemala for mice. There's no like literal mutilation of animals. There's no reason we should be funding social or large scale social deception campaigns. Um, you're right. We got to fix home, man. We can't do this shit. We can't keep just forcing out money. And that's why I've always loved the idea of Doge and the shakeup. It's time for the shakeup, man. We gotta mix it up now. We can't just keep sitting on this and letting the same shit continue for the next 100 years.
No, you're totally right. And it's not like saying like, yo, co-sign Trump. Trump's got his own shit, bro. Don't fuck with none of these really politicians and shit. But like, no matter who was doing it, the shit needs to be done. You know what I mean? In a fair way. Like we need to look at these books. Like that's shit I think about, like what type of country am I gonna leave these kids, you know what I mean? That are behind us. Like shit'd be pretty dark, we gotta make some changes.
Yeah, we really do. In order to evolve and move forward, we can't keep using the same system. It has to evolve. We can't have certain administrations and deep inside of mountains doing paper. Like we're supposed to be so far technologically advanced, our system should reflect that. And I think with AI and the US taking the reins on AI, I guess in a sense is positive moving forward. It'll be interesting to see how Elon and then Sam Altman get going, but at the same time, yeah, we do. We really have to get better. Let's see here. So Waka Flocka Fool says Bitcoin might save us. Irv, tell him, man, Bitcoin's the future.
It definitely is the future, man. Blockchain tech. And I think so like what Bitcoin runs on is the blockchain. Like I've always thought like everybody can see every transaction on the blockchain. Our government accounting system should be on the blockchain. Like nobody can take stuff off, nobody can mess with it. It's there. Like we sent $100 million here, stamp, time stamp, can't be changed, can't be taken back, and it goes to who it's intended to go to. Because right now payments are just going out the door. They have no idea who they're going out to. I mean, one guy had a contract, the person working on his contract, and the government died, and that shit was running for like 20 years, bro. Just payments going, sent out. And that's happening a lot. And it's like, what? Don't send $500 on Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna nail your ass. It was just 600. Send 600.
Yeah.
You better report that shit. But we send billions here, 80 million here, 100 million here. No accountability, no nothing, bro. Just money out the window.
And what they're finding out is it's like in these, in these programs like USAID is that these are just slush funds. So they go to organization to organization to organization, and then they just get used for salaries. So you're a chair on this organization that does absolutely nothing, and it'll go through this money laundering system, and then they'll just pay themselves large sums of money. And that's absurd. And like Dino says, there isn't a perfect way to do the shakeup, and we do need to move forward. And you're right. There is no perfect way to do it. As we've seen DOGE and Elon, they will make mistakes, no fucking question, but there's no way that they can make 250 years of mistakes. You know what I mean? They can only shave shit off and get better, But why do you think everybody has such a problem with the shakeup, right? So do you think it's just because it's Elon? Do you think it's just because they're Democrat and the Democrats are just going so hard against it? Or do you think they just don't know, man? They just don't know enough?
No, it's about 90% going to the Dems. The slush funds, basically. So it's like pretty tilted to the Dems right now. And so the money train's going away, man, and they're having issues. They're having issues with it. Like
Yeah,
this.
you can't pay that fucking mortgage.
This is like, so this chick writes in US Today, she writes a story like supporting US aid, right? Turns out she got 169K from USAID for one of her businesses in DC, and 34,000 from the State Department for a luxury apartment in Switzerland.
Shut the fuck up.
But today, this information wasn't out, but she's writing a news story in USA Today crying about USAID being cut. But it's shit like this. This is what's going on, and she's in the media. This is what people are reading. They're going into the corner store. They're going into the market. They're picking up a USA Today, and they're reading it. Yeah, and they're reading this. It's on the internet, and she's on the dole though. Like, they just found out 90% of the news outlets in Ukraine are funded by USAID. So what are their people thinking? The people are thinking what we want them to think.
Yeah. Well, again, and this is the biggest issue I have with people right now. And it falls on both sides. It's not just one radical side. But again, your information is curated for you. It takes somebody like Mike Benz, who has a background in like defense and shit like that. But either way, it takes somebody like him digging into this broad to be like, oh wait, hold on a second. You just got all that bread. Most people aren't going to do that digging, especially if they're receiving the money. But here you are as a mouthpiece saying, I worked for USAID and blah, 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 blah. What's funny, though, is there was a trend going on where it was like, dude, I can't remember, but they were going around on TikTok, and people were basically pretending like they put up, they're like crying. I worked for USAID. We lost all of our funding, finding out if, straw has one hole or two. Just like stupid shit, you know what I mean? Because that's what they were doing.
Yeah, bro, come on. You get dough for this stuff, man. You're gonna be biased. I mean, your kid's got a job, they're overseas, handing out whatever they're doing, handing out condoms in Gaza.
$50 million. You know how many condoms that is?
That's a lot of condoms, bro.
How many fucking condoms we gotta Google that shit? How many condoms can you get for 50? And I'm gonna let me ask Google real quick. I'm gonna ask Google on my phone.
That's good.
How many condoms can you get for $50 million?
Ooh.
For 50. And I'm gonna no, not doing it. Let's see. Fact check. That's funny. Here's what's hilarious, right? This is fucking funny. The first media outlet that comes up is Reuters. And Reuters received $9 million to run a large scale social fucking deception campaign. You fucking clowns. No evidence US spent 50 million.
That's what Reuters says.
That's what Reuters said, but it's not giving me it's not giving me a figure though on how many condoms you can get.
I'm gonna ask Grok. Let's ask Grok.
Dino says you can get a mean deal for the bulk buy. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking though. That's like I get it. I understand you want to practice safe sex, but why are we paying for it? Insanity.
Grok is insane.
Yeah, the unhinged Grok is fun.
500 million condoms.
500 million condoms.
At 10
Jesus.
cents a piece, according to Grok. Grok's giving the bulk discount.
Waka Flocka Fool says somebody got to pay. Yeah, you right. You right.
Nah, you know what though is they were using them for bombs and shit.
The condoms?
Yeah, Hamas.
So they
Hamas,
like make them into bombs, right?
Yeah, they making them the bombs. But yeah, so we're funding Israel and we're funding Hamas.
Wild.
It's the craziest shit. You can't even.
Yeah, we're gonna do an episode one of these days exploring that Israel connection, but unfortunately, it'll probably only be on X. Because that is the whole Israel thing, man, is getting real sketch lately. And unfortunately, a lot of these social media platforms that we're actually live streaming on now aren't just not going to hear it. But we'll do an episode where we kind of deep dive into that shit and why some misconceptions and stuff like that. But we'll also get into the meaty stuff that with Israel's connection, because there's another reason why the Epstein files, I think, are not coming out yet, is because they got to kind of scrub all that information from the list first. And then, but we'll get into that shit too. Yeah, man. It's insane, One of the things that I had on the list too from like a week or so ago, dude, was that Space Force plane. They released new photos. Remember that? Like we didn't get a chance to talk about it yet, but it was kind of interesting because this Space Force apparently has a space plane that just orbits the Earth.
I didn't see it.
X-37B is what it's called.
Oh, they put that under Space Force. Yeah, that shit goes up for a minute, man. 9 months.
Yeah, it
9 months at a damn time.
Yeah, it says it's experimenting with future space domain awareness. Like, so this is like, oh yeah, there she is. Look how cheesy that thing looks, though. I ain't even gonna front. That thing like looks kind of, I don't know, looks plastic.
It does look kind of cheesy. It's top secret though, but it's definitely a satellite killer.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah, because they were just saying that it was investigating radiation effects on materials provided by NASA. It experiments with future space domain awareness tech. So you're right. So they're up there fucking doing studies of whether they can shoot down fucking um what's it called there? Shoot down fucking satellites and shit.
It's autonomous too, right?
As
No,
far as
no,
I know.
no pilots needed.
Yeah, there's no pilots on it. Yo. It's kind of interesting that it's got the US Air Force on it, but
what do you think about Elon's thoughts on that? The UAP subject with no tech, no hidden tech that he knows of. With the Space Force plane and all of this stuff up there. You think he's telling the truth?
I think this is a double-edged sword for Elon, because he's got security clearances and he has to stay within a certain confine, national security wise. But if for just filling everybody else in, he made a statement on a Joe Rogan podcast. Joe Rogan had asked him how he felt about propulsion systems and the possibility that someone like Lockheed or Northrop or what was the other one, or Skunk Works, there was what was the other one? Lockheed, Northrop, and Boeing, maybe.
Boeing, yeah.
But the possibility that they would have these anti-gravitic propulsion systems, these just breakthrough technologies, and Elon responded and was like, well, look, I'm not aware of anything that even works in theory. So there's nothing out there right now, allegedly, that that would compete with his rockets at SpaceX. And that's, like I said, it's twofold for me, because is Elon going to come out and say, hey, we've run into these things either on the way in or on the way out? Or is he going to say, like, nah, man, I've been shooting rockets into space for quite some time now, and we really haven't had that issue? And another thing is why do we not have any high res photos yet? Cameras keep getting better, resolution keeps being shitty. So with that being said, even in a lot of the videos that have been released, even by the Navy or the US government, it's hard, because as much as I believe, no question already, but there really hasn't been any solid proof. Solid. Like even the Jake Barber shit. Let's take that for example. Yeah, we see this long ass rope with an egg at the bottom of it, but there was no footage of it from the ground. There was no, there's like no up close. Can't see the rivets. Can't, it's tough. And with a guy like Elon, he's shooting rockets out to space every day. Satellites up there all over the place. I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like he's telling the truth. Or he can't say if those defense contractors, and what a better way to cover it. What a better way to cover it. Yeah. Well, at least what a better way to not add speculation is to be like, nah, as far as I know, they ain't got shit.
Which he's too smart for that shit. He knows the history, bro. He doesn't even talk about the history. He doesn't even talk about military base dudes that are hurt and injured on disability. He doesn't talk about the nuclear. Like that type of stuff, I think would interest him, but he doesn't even go there.
Well, what's interesting about that, in a sense, is that Elon is at the forefront of space and technology to space, and Werner von Braun had wrote his memoirs back in the day, and long before Elon was ever thought of, and said the first leader of Mars will be named Elon. That's a fact. Like, anybody can go get that. And then in the Rogan episode, he said he was an alien, man.
He did.
He was fucking around.
He's a
but
fucking alien, bro.
He literally said it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm an alien, and maybe I'm just trying to get home."
I've always thought that. He's from.
I don't know. Do I want to say it's coincidence that he's the only person that can get to Mars, and Werner von Braun predicted him? No, I don't feel like that's coincidence, because I feel even if it's like in like an incarnation sense, like everything is there in the Akashic record. So if he tapped into something and was like, "Oh wait, Mars, Elon, these are the words I'm seeing," like, it's not impossible, you know.
It's not. He would have to know it's. I mean, there's no way possible you could predict that just on some random shit, like before Elon's even born, and goes through life.
How does that happen?
How
does that happen?
How?
Some dude from South Africa, no less.
Yeah.
So and as we know, von Braun was in Germany forever, and then died in the U.S., finished out his days in the U.S. So and then to be the godfather of NASA, and then now Elon is the guy that's going to space. Like, NASA can't even get out of space, like can't even get off the Earth.
No, that's sad too.
Oh, that's super sad, man. But that's a product of where's the money going? The Apollo missions were most likely faked. Or at least the moon mission, were most likely faked and or covered up. You would think if you went to the moon, bro, you were NASA, right? Even in the 60s. So let's say the 60s to 2000. So that's 40 years. We'll say 65 years. You're in the gutter after going to the moon. That's kind of sus to me. That's sus. Like, you'd think you'd be on like the best agency ever moving forward.
Should be. All the money that was sent their way, you should be.
Right, but this is again waste and crazy funding for what? For what? What does NASA do that crazy that they need all that funding? What's the last thing NASA put in space ever? Was it the Hubble? Who put the Hubble out there?
JW, James Webb Telescope.
That's what it is, James Webb.
I think they put up a couple more, but Elon's been bringing up quite a few of the telescopes too lately. I think more and more, but he does it so much cheaper than him. It's not even a competition. It's like, we'll just use him, which I didn't know he had the top secret clearance neither.
Yeah.
And that he's basically a defense contractor because of the rocket.
Well, he is.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because that's what I mean. Is just kind of, that's why I feel like with that question being asked, it's a fine line for homeboy to toe, because you really can't say, like, because really you of all people should definitively be able to say, "Oh, you're sending rockets up there? Oh, you can go pick the astronauts up? Okay, what do you guys? What's the traffic like up there?"
What's the traffic, Elon? Yeah, I get it. And then coming from him, if he would blow the doors open, man, he really can't.
He
But
can't.
also,
Like,
he could look at your damn records too if he's got top secrets clearance. By the way, I didn't know he
well,
did. So,
that's
he,
another interesting thing that like I thought was like almost naive in a sense because and it almost felt like it was on purpose was because he was like, oh well, I have top secret clearance, but I don't think they could hide it from me. Listen, if they've been hiding information from the president since Roswell or prior, like on a need to know basis, like you're not in the need to know, like I don't think I'm pretty sure you could probably hide it from Elon too.
you could.
You know, I just thought like it's so compartmentalized that I don't think you could be like, tell JFK, oh, go get fucked. We're not giving you any information, and then, hide. It's got to be that fucking hidden in a black project or in a mountain or like you don't see Elon going running up in Dolce right now
No.
or Right Pat. Why aren't you strolling up into Right Pat?
Nah. And I don't think Boeing or Lockheed would have them anywhere near their facilities anyway.
No, competitor,
Fuck out
bro.
of here. Yeah, fuck out of here.
Competitor. So
where?
Yeah. So he probably did him a favor with that comment, like, yeah, look, all right, I'll throw you guys a friggin' bone.
Why aren't they competing? And he knows why. I mean, they wouldn't want to release that tech to anyone.
All right. So with that being said, with his let's play a game real quick where we go with what he's saying, right? There's no evidence of the top secret clearances. There's no high res photos. There's like, what is going on if that's the case? If it's all fake, what if it's all fake, Irv? Well, the whole UFO UFP experience is bogus. It's us putting on a show.
It can't be. It can't be. There's no fucking way, bro. Just from it's the ancient shit you just can't escape. Whatever these clowns doing from the 1920s and forward, that shit don't even matter, bro. I mean, George Washington had a UFO experience. You know what I mean? Like, mad at the founding fathers did. Like, people all over the world throughout histories had them. So it's real, bro. I can't even.
You can't even fathom it. Right?
I can't even fathom it, bro. I can't. I mean, all of history is just people are just on shrooms and DMT, I guess.
Well, yeah. I feel like there's something definitely spiritual about everything, and it's even if it's all just consciousness, or the one universe. I don't see it being fake either. I do see the staged shit, because like I feel like the government or black projects would totally stage an alien invasion to control the masses. Like, no question. Nothing would bring people closer together than that.
Jake Barber, I found out today that he was. They called him they said he was on the red team. So his job with his job with the Air Force initially was to infiltrate UFO groups and cause disinformation.
This was Jake's job.
This was Jake's fucking job. He went to do this to Stephen Greer.
Ugh.
And then ended up meeting some other dude in the Air Force. And he's like, this dude's kind of cool, I guess. And they started, and he's like, what if we could bring it out? But then I was like, oh, Jake, come on, bro. Like,
see, these are the things that concern me, and I've brought it up before with all of these guys being in intelligence. The Sean Ryans, the Lou Elizondos, the fucking Dave Grushes, they're intelligence guys, and you're going to tell me that this guy's job was to infiltrate UFO groups and spread disinformation. And now he's out here crying on fucking Ross Coulthart.
Of all places.
We streamed it, and this guy's an actor, man. Like, you're an actor.
It just was, yeah. I mean, I know you've been on that train from the get. Like, yo, these cats is intel, man. You can't really take them at face value. Yeah.
It's hard because as much as I want to believe that there are cats that are like, yeah, we're fucking whistleblowers. We're whistleblowers. Bro, how many people have gotten whacked out for even suggesting that they would whistleblow? And then you have these hand-picked people, oh, Tom DeLonge, fucking weirdo Blink-182 guy, like rock and roll. Like, I don't know, man. To me, I want to believe that there are people that want to tell us the truth and want to bring information. But where are the high-res videos? Where is the real study? I just feel like this trickle effect by now, 2025. All right, so we started the podcast, Irv, in 2020. We've obviously been talking about this for years prior. This is the amount of information we have. We still have a couple grainy videos, and
it's fucked up, bro. I'm exhausted by it, honestly. This last wave of disclosure from the UFO hearings, Elizondo, the Navy Admiral, those cats, and then the shit that's coming out now. Then you had Stephen Greer do something, followed by the Eggman, fucking Eggman too. Now that I'm thinking about it, from Sonic. It's like, and then now everybody's fighting. All the UFOologists are fighting each other or trying to discredit each other. So it's just a mock and nothing's moving. Rep Luna, Anna Luna, their committee, they'll probably release a nothing burger too on us, bro.
Well, this is the problem is what we're starting to see with X too, man. And God bless X. Is they're starting to expose all these cats though. These like even her, man. A lot of people just look at Rep Luna and that's Rep Luna. You know what I mean? She has a deep connection to, one, she's Jewish, and two, she she has connections to Israel. So it's like, and not saying that makes her terrible or bad or anything like that, but at the same time, we have to look deeper into these task forces, and a lot of these cats have accepted money from people. And usually you can find where the money is, and you can kind of see where they're going to be with it. Like Irv said, this is almost turning into a show for likes and views and clicks, because it'll be like, we spoke about it with the Pam Bondi shit. Anna Luna puts up a tweet. Oh, we've reached out to the Department of Justice. Oh, maybe we'll at Pam Bondi. Maybe we can get a hold of her on Twitter. Like, and then you got Nancy Mace chiming in, and it's getting like catty and soap opera-y. And now it's like same thing with the UFO guys. It's getting like, this person said that, this person said this guy's a fucking liar, this guy's that. Like, it's a big show. But Anna Luna's real name is Mayhofer, for the record.
Yeah, I looked her up after you was telling me.
And for anybody that's interested, she's a Maxim. She was on the cover of Maxim. She was a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. Well, so yeah, it is interesting, man, and how they brand themselves. And I really like her. I really like Nancy Mace. I really like a lot of these like pit bulls that are gonna push forward the hard questions. But it's like, yeah, you can ask the hard questions, but if you don't ever get the fucking answers, what does it matter?
Don't matter. I mean, you look tough too, asking tough questions, but at the end of the day, you're still not getting shit.
Yeah. Right. And I think that's where we're running into a lot of the issues. If we're going to look at just the Epstein issue, that was so disappointing. It didn't go through the task force.
No.
Did you see how that went too? Was this like Pam Bondi's office? This is, I don't know how many people have saw it out there. If you guys seen it, make sure you tap in, leave a comment. But the way they rolled out this first phase of the Epstein thing was wild. They had just like a bunch of different weirdo influencer, which I like the new media standpoint, you know. I like not going to the mainstream medias and shit. But they had these cats out there taking pictures with the binder, like showing them off, like see what we got. That shit was kind of disappointing to me, at least. Yeah, here we go. See how wild that is? And like on these binders, it says Epstein files phase 1. And so far from that rollout, bro, look at them cool, thick ass binders, right? Isn't that cool? That's like, see if you can
Really
zoom
cool.
in on that, or see if you can zoom in on that motherfucker. Let's see how cool these things are, right? Ah, yeah, beautiful. So, again, that thing looks pretty thick. What was it? 200 pages of
200 pages.
Of phone records that were already released. We got a couple new names like Alec Baldwin and Tony Blair, but
yeah, Epstein phase 1.
Wait, what does that hat say?
Sure.
My bad. So Trump was right about
everything. He got
wild. Wild. Yeah, so again, the rollout did not make me feel good about any information moving forward. There was a memo that was sent out from Bondi's office stating that the FBI had a certain amount of time to release the rest of the documents from the Southern District of New York. I didn't hear about the Florida shit yet. But what do you think's going on there, bro? Who do you think they're hiding? Why not release if you're the FBI, you're supposed to be Federal Bureau of Investigations. You're supposed to be cops. You're supposed to be cracking down on criminals. Why are they not releasing these?
I mean, it's a coordinated effort. I mean, you got Mossad, you got U.S. interests, you got powerful people on that list. I mean, it just runs so deep, man. Runs so deep with people who took part in this shit, visited the island, trafficking parts of it. Yeah, so I don't think the feds want to. I think they're trying to protect their name, man.
Do you think
the powerful people?
Do you think it's the feds trying to protect their name, or do you think when the feds took custody of it's like a mob business, right? So you whack the other guy, but you get the business now. So do you think when they eliminated Jeffrey Epstein, sent Ghislaine up the hill for 20, 30 years, they took over the custody of the blackmail now? It's like, oh, wait, oh, whoa, homie. We got the names now. You're gonna
Yeah.
You're gonna do what we tell you to do.
Yes, that makes sense right there. Yeah, absolutely. Keep it going. They said
Keep
there's probably more of them out there. He's probably just one of many, um, which I can see happening, man.
Well, no,
Totally, totally
you look at the
possible.
Diddy shit. Look at the Diddy
Yeah.
shit.
Hmm.
That's just there. So again, when you really look at like the big influences of power, I saw another person make the argument that it wasn't necessarily they would compromise these people for any sort of money or anything like that, but it was more so for access. They would leverage access. So like imagine Jeffrey Epstein having access to the president. So like they would leverage those positions and say, "Oh, well, yeah, bring Bill through. Yeah, come on, bring Bill in.
Yeah,
Yeah, bring Bill go right over to the island. Fuck yeah."
yeah. I mean, you cannot even know what the hell you're getting into. You think you're going to talk business, bro, and now you're out there hunting humans for sport. It's like private island, man. I was watching one of the survivors from the New Mexico compound. It's like, yo, they were running science experiments on me and shit. Had me chained down to a table, like, because he was into genetics too.
Eugenics and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, doing all that wacky science shit. So I don't know, man. I don't know if we're gonna get shit. I don't know if shit's already destroyed. I mean, they had 4 years of Biden already, so I mean, a lot of that shit could be destroyed, which I wouldn't doubt that at all. Or it's in the hands of someone else continuing the blackmail.
Yeah, I agree. It really at this point could be either one. And we may never ever get information. And Jez Lane's locked up north, man. Like eating lovely, chilling, gonna do her 20, get out, still be rich. And that's why we'll dive a bit deeper into that whole thing with the connection to the Mossad and everything else on an episode where we'll just plan to be on X, so you guys will have to tap in on X. But it is interesting to see where all of this money goes and where the influence goes. So we're not I agree. We'll see. I guess we'll give her a little bit of time to get the truth out, but just already the way it's going, man. It didn't follow no executive order with like you would think Pam Bondi would have to follow that same executive order to give it to the task force. Task force reviews it, then the task force puts it out in a press conference.
I don't think you need all of that shit, bro. You
I
just
don't think you
release.
need it either.
Nah, just release that shit. That's what I'm like. She's like, oh, we're gonna start with JFK. I'm like, nah, who gets to decide that shit? Like, let's get this UFO shit out the way first. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got Martin Luther King, RFK, 9/11. I mean, they'll be in these damn committees till
Yeah.
the next president comes up. Will be like, no, we're not releasing shit. You got a short window to get this stuff out.
Well, right, and you can't put that label that you're the most transparent administration ever if you're not going to actually give us some smoking gun bombshell shit. So, and you can't make statements where it's like, well, if you've seen what I've seen, you wouldn't release it either. It's like you can't make statements like that because now it just feeds the fire, and people want to know. People want to know what's going on here. If there was really clients to an international sex trafficking ring and Ghislaine Maxwell, there was enough evidence to convict her in court. Come on. Like, stop fucking with us.
Yeah, I guess there's a campaign to get her free.
Shut up.
It's like
Half-hearted.
it's not about what she did. It's women who are upset that out of all of this shit, only a woman is doing time. All the powerful men are free.
I mean, they're not fucking wrong.
They're not. No. That's what
They're not wrong, and not a single powerful person like. And this is the crazy part: is the Alan Dershowitz is the fucking the presidents. Like, there's people that are literally like Alan Dershowitz. I'm pretty sure it was him who was like the chair at Harvard Law, and literally crafted Homeboy's plea agreement. Like put every word in there, and it made sure that it went through, and homie could leave prison, go conduct his daily affairs, come back. Like, it was this was one of his guys, bro. And he was I want to say Alan Dershowitz was like a high profile fucking guy, like in the
attorney
general,
maybe. Yeah, AG for Clinton. Yeah.
What a coincidence, too, for Clinton. They were all just going to the island.
That's crazy, man. Let's see.
Yeah, I bet you Clinton has a heart attack before fucking the list drops. Oh, President Bill Clinton passed away in his sleep. Hillary devastated.
Still freaking kicking.
Speaking of which, anybody see that weirdo shit with Gene Hackman? Just Gene Hackman and his, just a quick little briefing. But Gene Hackman and his wife and their dog fucking all died of natural causes at the same time.
Yeah. Allegedly. Randy Quaid was like, yo, they were murdered.
No, Randy's fucking wild.
Randy's like, okay, so you're telling me I know 6 people from Hollywood who all died the same way, including Heath Ledger. I'm like, Randy, you're not lying, bro. You're not lying, bro. But yeah, he's wilding
he
right
went
now.
Fucking nuts too, though, Randy Quaid. What was that? I can't remember. He made his wife or something wear a face of someone. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, I remember that crazy video a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't even that long ago, bro. And it was like, I can't remember whose face it was, but he's like, if he's gonna keep fucking me, he's like, put this on. And then he's like smashing his wife with this. I don't even know. It's like, I can't remember who it was.
I'm pulling it up, bro. I'm pulling it up.
Get his band.
That's a must.
That's just hilarious. Randy Quaid, though. Shout out to Randy Quaid. He's wild. See if you can find that shit. So we got 33 on X, 1 on YouTube, 1 on Facebook, 2 on Twitch. Shout out to everybody with us on Rumble, Kick as well, or Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Help us out. Tap in with your boys. Let us know what you guys think is going on. I know X, stay pulling through. Yeah. But this is the type of shit, man, where like these people have been screaming for the hills for years. Like look at Randy Quaid. Like they just said that dude's crazy.
He's crazy.
He's been saying for years they've been trying to kill him. Didn't he leave? Didn't he like flee to Canada or something?
Yeah, he bounced. I mean, he always played crazy anyway. All of his shit.
Oh.
All the movies. He was wild.
Well, but look at these dynasties though in Hollywood, right? So he's a part of like one of those, right? So there was wasn't there a bunch of Quaids?
Yeah.
It's like the Baldwins, bro. Mm-hmm. Or the Sheens. They're like these acting dynasties, man.
Yeah, we straight grew up with these cats on the big screen.
I know.
Randy played like what? Scrubbed that shit. They definitely scrubbed that shit from the internet. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, if you guys see it, one of these days, maybe I'll throw it up on our X, but if I come across it again.
Yeah.
But that was just insane because he's like, "You want to keep fucking me? Okay, cool." And then just I'm like, dude, there's no way this dude is doing this shit. That shit was fucking great, hilarious. But yeah, man, that's like it's just there's a lot going on, and it's hard for people to wrap their heads around a lot of what's going on, and information is hard to come by. Good information is hard to come by these days.
Yeah, gotta fact check.
Fact check, take it all, read it all, see what you find. Somewhere usually in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, the truth is somewhere usually in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, buddy. Let's see what else I got on my shit. So allegedly today, did you see that the apparently New York caved, bro? Hochul caved, repealed the HALT Act,
She
and
did?
as far as yeah, you might have to Google it, but the COs that were illegally striking were now I'm pretty sure they came to an agreement now, which fucking blows my mind. It's crazy. I think my sister sent me an article earlier that they had come to some agreement. And
Oh, yeah, 90 days. Suspended it for 90 days. I heard that their union did, but they're not even rocking with their union. So I think the union's like, yeah, we're good. But I think a lot of the correctional officers are still like, nah, fuck that. It's a 90-day suspension. They're gonna get them back in, and then like, oh, 90's up.
yeah. Well, yeah, because again, it just drives. I understand the need to have like certain levels of punishment, you know, but at the same time, that shit is so inhumane, bro. That's so inhumane, and for you to fight for something like that instead of just being good, I want a camera on. They should put body cams on the COs. Fuck it, all the law enforcement need it. Motherfuckers act different when they know they're being recorded.
Get it all out there.
Yeah, just look at the guys that just got charged with murder. You know what I mean? It's like if they were like they shut their body cams off. One was in like standby mode. That's the only reason we got that video.
The only reason we got it. I don't know. It's kind of weird too. It could be because this shit really just buried that story of the 6 who got arrested and released on bail. 6 correction officers.
Well, there was like 17 charged though, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I know there was administrators and nurses that were involved in the cover up of it, because that's what happened is they filed false reports. They did like a bunch of weirdo shit where they covered it up like administratively. So they would be like, oh, this is a death report. Oh, there's because there's a lot of paperwork that comes behind that shit.
6 prison guards. And for those who don't know, we're talking about the video of the handcuffed inmate Robert Brooks, 43-year-old, was beaten by correctional officers on body cam. It says 6 of them. 6 of them were
Charged for murder, right?
Murder. So I don't know what see what we get.
Yeah, I know there were some people that were like involved in it.
But this really just buried the story, though, bro. The strike. starting to wonder if it's like intentional.
This was a tactic, bro. You mean to tell me, listen, first of all, the timing is crazy. They went on strike right around the same time that these dudes got charged, right? Because for a while they weren't charged, which
Yeah.
is fucking crazy and crazy that they didn't get charged immediately, arrested, taken off the job. No, they were all put on an administrative leave and then charged later on. But then the union's NYSCOBA, I think is the union, strikes, right? They don't even strike. It's like just CO start this strike
They walk out.
and they walk out. And that's bananas, because if you can sit there and justify what you did to that man, and anybody can go and get the Robert Brooks video, it's absolutely disgusting, and no human being should have to be handcuffed, shackled, and tortured and beaten in that manner. You know what I mean? But again, this is the preferential treatment of law enforcement. We're seeing it, you know. You could go and kill a dude and then go strike. You know, that's the attitude that you have. And then you say, well, no, if we could put Robert Brooks in solitary confinement for 10 years, we totally would, because we just lock him away, you know. It's disgusting, man. I really disagreed with that whole situation, and especially the strike, because you're almost like a caregiver at that point too. They like basically they unlocked the bathrooms and like unlocked one other thing, but there was no commissary, there was like no food for a while, there was no nothing. They just abandoned ship on these people.
No, they're still not in there. A couple friends in the National Guard who are in there, they just moved them out. They just moved them out of the cells. They had them sleeping in there. They just moved them out to like basically like a barn, bro. They don't even got food or weapons. They just got them in there. Like inmates taking over dorms. There's been murders. There's been chaos and violence in these places, and they're actually the correctional officers are breaking the law with this strike because it's creating unsafe for the other correctional officers who are going to work are now, suspect too.
Compromised, yeah.
And then a lot of the retired guys are like saying like, you guys are rats for working. Like maybe when we come back, we won't have your back. You know what I'm saying? You didn't stand with your brothers. This is wow, man. This is just a wild story. It's a tragic story.
Tell me about how you were just telling me the other day how they were lighting buses on fire.
Yeah, they vandalized. This is the correction officers vandalized correctional buses and then set one on fire, and there's an investigation into that. Like, bro, that's the shit the people that you guard are in there for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're committing those crimes. Like, what's the difference? And you're breaking the law with this strike. So it's confusing as shit, bro. I mean, you can't have it both ways, though. Either you're law abiding, you're down riding with the law, or you're not.
Or you're not.
Or you're not, bro.
And what kind of message does this send that New York just caved to these demands? Because, like you just said, either you're following the law or you're not. In this case, they did not. The COs did not follow the law. They burned shit down. They committed arson. They did the vandalism. They've done other shit. And then they illegally struck. We're doing a strike. So what message does this send, Irv, to the inmates and society?
Law don't matter, man. Or the law, you apply it how you see fit for your current situation. But that's been the problem all the way in this country, like with the lawfare too. Like shit they did with Trump, the illegal spying and creating the Russian hoax shit. Like if they could do it to a former president, they can do it to you and us.
Yeah. Well, what was
We the
interesting
people.
too about his felonies were they were all misdemeanors. You know, in a real world scenario, they were all misdemeanors, and then because they were weaponized, they were all felonies.
And then Southern District is the same district that prosecuted him, and they're the same ones not releasing the Epstein files.
Insane. But again, you can't have it fucking both ways. You can't. It's you're following the law or you're not. No one is above it. And here we are with blatant examples of these law enforcement breaking the law. Insanity, bro. It's a weird world, man. And again, for all the people that are supporting this shit, I would love to hear from you guys, because if you really die hard support this like CO situation, like I really want to get your perspective on it. You know, like we're not opposed to having outside perspectives on it. Because I want to know how you justify this. How do you reconcile these questions, you know? So if anybody's in support of it, make sure you leave a comment. Again, we want dialogue. We don't want to be confrontational, just for the record. But
yeah, I just wanted to throw a picture up of Robert Brooks. What's crazy is that that's the 43-year-old that was killed, murdered by New York State correctional officers, and 6 of them was charged. Like 2 with murder, I think 4 with manslaughter, and then I don't see shit for the rest of them. But I think they said they were just getting started on that.
yeah, they'll follow up. Anybody that had anything to do with filing false instruments, or you know, they'll have to make an example out of them. But this just goes to show you that how the COs take that type of behavior. So like they're actually being held accountable, you know, and it's telling what kind of human beings you are. You do something wrong, man, you fucked up. Everybody makes a mistake. You can kind of fix it, you know. Shit happens. But like to sit there and dig your heels in the ground and be like, no, we should fucking what are you talking about? Like why that's so absurd of a thought to get charged with that crime. Like what, you know? But
yeah.
I've seen it in real life, you know.
Yeah, and it that strike really suppressed the story somewhat.
Oh, definitely did, bro. What do you mean? For sure. Blew that thing right out of the water. Like nobody was
the paper.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So.
And you created a movement on social media. So again, like TikTok and all of these reels, it's like we support the you know, the COs. Oh, what up, Johnny?
Johnny.
What up, Broham? But again, that's why it would be interesting to see, like, from someone's perspective that actually agree or support these strikes, because it's like, man, I really need to know how you say, okay, wait, I'm gonna go break the law, but then I'm gonna go and be a CO in the guys that already broke the law. So I don't know. I don't know how. I would love to see how they reconcile that shit.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'll ask some folks. A lot of those folks though doesn't seem like they can speak out about it neither. Which is weird.
We need somebody retired. I think
retired. Yes,
we need a retired CO. And I'm gonna start poking around, like somebody that's been in the biz for a long time, because again, I need to know how you can sit here and be like, all right, I can beat the shit out of a guy to where he's dead, and then strike. Yeah, like I gotta know these questions, like, and then sit there and be like, okay, well, we're gonna burn down a bus, we're gonna demand a bunch of shit, and then go watch inmates when you guys should probably be inmates.
They're supposed to be fired.
Yep.
They're supposed to be fired. Basically, they're no call, no show for a couple weeks.
Yeah. And it's illegal too, because they have a collective bargaining agreement. Yeah. So if they did it, like, if you weren't happy with your CBA, then you should probably enter into renegotiations. You can't. They're faking. What do you mean, Johnny? They're faking accidental overdoses in there.
Is that the fentanyl shit?
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, they're even the National Guard too. Like, we touch fentanyl and they're like, I don't think we're faking it, but
that's what you mean. Like, so the COs are faking it. Yo, listen, you know what's crazy too is I actually know a CO that like has gotten injured on the job quite a few times, and what they do is they work the system. So it's like, oh, they'll instigate a fight between two people and then restrain them, and then somebody rolls an ankle and you catch an insurance payout.
Oh yeah, you get you hurt your back.
Yeah, that's wild, Johnny. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because I actually didn't even see that. And it doesn't surprise me, because I've seen cops do crazier, and but this is what I'm talking about is like, how can people say this shit? Like, right? How can this shit happen? You can fake some shit and then be like, go back into that same prison and be like, all right, I'm a good law enforcement guy. I am totally reputable to uphold the law. It's fucking doesn't make sense. It's ironic.
Bro, when they come back in, the inmates are just like, out of control. Like, oh, where y'all burning buses and shit, son? You know they read the paper and the news. Like, yo, I ain't have no letters for weeks, B.
No visits.
No visits. No. Now my brother's locked up. I haven't got an email from him. He usually email me all the time. I haven't got an email.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, Johnny, but you're right. Because it is built into their system, and they are the law, man. But again, this is why we do the podcast, and this is why we need to bring the dialogue, because and shout out to Johnny Murray too, because he's out there spreading the gospel and the auditing of police and the government, and that should always happen, because they have to be held accountable no matter what. They're held to a higher standard. Fuck that. But this is what we got going on in New York State, and that's like up north of us. And shit's going wild, man. I can't even believe they stopped it. They halted the HALT Act. Yeah, we'll see what happens, bro.
Yeah, man.
Going forward, we appreciate everybody tapping in with us tonight. We got up to like 45, I think, at one point. I can't see Rumble or Kick or Twitch. Or wait, no, Twitch was on there. We got some.
But yeah, Twitch was on.
We got one on Twitch. Sure. Yeah. Shout out to Johnny for popping in. Dino, Waka Flocka Fool. George for commenting. Yeah, we're in the process of getting back into the studio vibe as well. And then got some cool things coming up. Make sure you guys
19 on Rumble tonight.
Hell yeah. Shout out Rumble. What
Rumble,
up?
What up? That's nice. Keep checking in, tapping in with us out there on all social media platforms.
Yeah, and again, if you have opposing opinions, don't be afraid to bring them to us. Get in the comment section. If you're brave enough, we'll send you a link. You can come on the podcast. We don't want to be confrontational, but we want answers to these questions, man. We need it, you know. So we'll start to like kind of look for a format too where we can bring in some opposing opinions and shit, just so that way it's not always lopsided. But you know, it's I think we're doing a good job at least getting the information out there and trying to understand it together.
Oh yeah, and before we go, I just wanted to shout out Jana from the Philippines. Was the winner of a $25 Amazon gift card for showing us support and then bringing mad subs to our YouTube. So shout out to you, Jana, out there in the Philippines. We appreciate you.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Keep spreading the word, and we like to take care of our listeners. And it's again, we're building so organically that like everybody that's with us is with us, and we appreciate you guys so much, especially when you guys come in, comment, and engage with us. We really like to talk to you guys. And yeah, Irv, you got anything else for them?
Nah, man. Stay safe.
Stay safe, stay weird. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And again, best way to support the channel is either to hit the Cash App that's going across the bottom, or make sure you pick up a product over at our TikTok shop. And every little bit helps us grow the channel. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.